Now this camera, I've just about finished repairing this camera for someone, but there's a couple of little things I'd like to deal with, and the things I'd like to deal with are Zeiss-bumps. And the Zeiss-bumps, as you probably already know, are patches of corrosion or corrosion product build-up underneath the leather. And here we have a fairly pronounced bump at this point, and there's a much smaller bump at this point here. So rather than peel the leather right off the back of the camera, I'm going to try some keyhole surgery. We'll see how we get on. What I'm going to do, or attempt to do, is peel up a little bit of the leather and scrape out the corrosion. And then glue everything back down again. Right, so that's fairly well lifted. And I'll use this pair of tweezers to get under there and fish out that green waxy corrosion build-up. I think I could probably do that better with a toothpick. So that bump's gone, that leather will glue back down flat now. I'll wipe under there with a bit of thinners to see if I can get under there even better. And at this end, we're a bit further back here, we'll see if I can get to there. Means I've got to lift more leather, and means I've got to lift it further along. If I work too close to the corner, I'll stretch the leather. So I've got to lift the leather further back. Let's see if I can hook that muck out from there. Yes, there's a big lump. Leather is easy to stretch and it's very hard to shrink. Oh, there are techniques that will shrink it, but not without leaving marks. I'm just feeling now to see if I've got rid of the bulk of that. It feels quite good. I'll scrape under there with my scalpel. That feels like it. So some adhesive and glue it back down. So I'll apply this with a toothpick. I'll need to lift the leather up and get underneath it. That should do. And I'll just press down on that, let that shrink back, or hopefully get it to shrink back. I've got to do the same up here, of course. Oh, that one's definitely gone. This one here will be more work because the leather over that bump is stretched and won't want to stick down. Let's see how we get on. I'll just rub off that glue that's run through to onto the paint. And here I'll do much the same. I'll put a little dot of lighter fluid on that toothpick, or that cotton bud, and just wipe that paint to make sure it's all gone. That one's not exactly flat, but it's a lot better. The other one's disappeared completely. That'll do nicely. So that's how you can get rid of Zeiss bumps without lifting the entire leather. And the only reason for doing that is that lifting the leather when it's well stuck is a dodgy practice. It's often very thin. The leather's only a very thin skiving. If it's dry, it'll be fairly fragile. Remember, the leather's 60 odd years old, and it's just as likely to tear as you try to remove it. So if in doubt, don't remove it.